What's going on? My name is Zac Holcomb. This is Kickin' It With, episode number 7. Today we've got Andre Barrett. You may know him as Andre. You may know him as Dre. You may know him as a miscellaneous bunch of other monikers that we may touch on as we go.
God, way too many in my lifetime. Way too many.
Yeah, we kind of went over some of them on Saturday when we met up with you. So for those of you that don't know, we'll get into it a little bit. Andre's going to tell us a little bit about himself and why he's made it all the way, why the roads have led us to meeting into each other. And then here we are recording a little pod. But more or less, Jerry and I were running around on Saturday, went down to H&H Farm Supply in the major metropolis of Pink Hill. We were supporting a little SPCA, meet and greet, maybe take a puppy home event.
Oh yeah, no, the SPCA here, they're doing a lot of good things, a lot of nonprofit fundraisers and profit. I mean, especially we have a huge thing in Lenoir County. As long as I've lived here with stray animals
everywhere.
You can drive around Kinston. Drive around to the Kinston Walmart, or not the Walmart, but
Is it the old Kmart?
No, well, not the Kmart. The McDonald's right there on 70 near the Tractor Supply. You'll see at least unless they clear them out, there used to be 7,000 cats back there, and you're just
they feed them.
Oh my God, what the hell is
It's I think that's a feral cat community. They actually have caretakers of those cats.
Jesus.
I know. I know. We were actually, Grant and I were driving around picking up scooters today, and we stopped at Queen Street and Highland. We're right there. We're heading north on Queen. We pull up to the light. It turns yellow. There's a black lab in the northwest corner of the intersection. We pull up. He's in a sit. We pull up. The light turns yellow. We slow down. Dog stands up, looks both ways, crosses the street. I was like, dude, the freaking dogs down here have so much street smarts. There's many strays that all the dumb strays have been hit by cars, but now all you've got are the survival of the fittest. These are the smartest freaking stray dogs you're ever gonna find.
No, I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
The city of Kinston, they had a legend just retire recently. His name is Barry Price. He was animal control for the city for God knows. He's a seasoned veteran officer. I mean, I saw him in a photo on Facebook, and I'm telling you, Barry's the man. He had a chesty. I'm a Marine, so it's I make a lot of Marine Corps references, but he had a chesty puller stack, literally going easily from his shoulder down to his nipple line of just awards. There's nothing that he hasn't done, but so he chose to be, animal control, and he was like a ninja in the night. Like a literal Batman. While people were asleep and everything like that, Barry'd be out here so. Trust me, the animals around here are very educated, and they know because they know that something's gonna be replacing the legend soon enough, and they just don't want to step toe in line because they feel his presence still around here.
Yeah, they know that even though he's gone, he could just be on vacation still, and they'd be screwed. Yeah. But I'm serious, man. We were cracking up. We were like the freaking dogs. Well, we were laughing about how constantly all we see on Facebook is oh, there's a dog running loose on Hull Road, and it's no shit, there's a freaking dog loose. Shocking, they're everywhere. You don't even need to make a post anymore. We get terrible. They're out there, but it's super fun. They're doing some work. Yeah, I saw that very close to very close to breaking ground on that new spot.
I was just about to say that
that's gonna be sweet.
Because I've lived here in Lenoir County over a decade, since 2011. I lived Greenville for a year. Then prior to that, I was in the Marine Corps. I was deployed all the time. And when I was deployed, I was either in training or deployed, and I was a radio operator in 2nd Anglico. And we can get into that later, but I've been here the whole time, so whenever I would see these people or just events or anything going on. But yeah.
Yeah, the events are fantastic, and they do a great job of getting. I think that at least 2 dogs, maybe 3 dogs got adopted up there. Just on Saturday, it's pretty sweet.
I know that I don't know what her position is now, but Tiffany Jarman, she's the one who's been heading up all these programs, especially for the SPCA, and she has been absolute rock star when it comes to doing these. Because every time I see these events go on, the dogs, the animals that they have there, they're getting adopted. It's not oh man, shucks, maybe another one, Fido. No, Fido's going home that day, probably. Yeah. If they bring them there, they're probably getting a home that day. Like, she has a very good succession rate for that. And I mean, it's just because she has a passion to want to do that. That is her passion. She, like many people in this community that I know, she enjoys helping other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her day-to-day is like she's found like the passion, and that makes it shines right through, man. Like, if you're there checking stuff out and you can tell that someone's there just to grab that hourly position, and their eyes are set on whatever they're doing after, versus the person that's like, hey, seriously, like, they're very involved and interested, and their heart's in the right place, and it's what they want to do, man. You're getting such a better experience. And then, like, the people that are going and looking for dogs, damn, I mean, they pick up on that stuff too. I mean, it's still sales. Yeah. I mean, it's still sales to a degree. People have to feel the vibe to be like, let's take this dog home for the next 12 years. I mean,
it's one of those things too. You can have somebody that can, I'm going to use the phrase, no, I'm not going to use that phrase. That's kind of pretty bad on this one. A fast turnaround. You can have somebody that'd be like, oh yeah, I can get these dogs out of here like easy. Zero effort, Yep. They don't right now. What they do is they make sure you have a good fit. They have a good fit for what they're, to make sure that they're not having to find that dog or animal another home after they've just given them a home.
Yeah, like the last thing they want to do. Yeah, the last thing they want to do is get into a situation where they're like rehoming a dog 3 times.
Right, exactly. That's
not a good fit and all that. So.
Yeah, I mean, and even in a business scale aspect, I mean, that's ridiculous. Right. Even just alone on a caretaker scale, but on a business, everything in life essentially is a business. It's in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Well, at least the successful entities.
Yeah,
they operate that way.
Yeah, no
it's a good way to stay open if you operate like a business.
Yeah, absolutely.
More in than out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we talked a little bit on Saturday. We were going over all sorts of random things. You were one of the fantastic folks that happened to be here. I think you were state trooper at the time. You were here at the building the night that we had we turned it into a drive-in theater. And so we were chatting about that on Saturday a little bit. But yeah, man, it's nice to have you back in. You get to see, the backside of what it looks like after everything's been cleaned up, got the door.
I mean, that's pretty cool. It was.
It didn't look so hot.
No, I definitely, because with it being in the city, I had it on scan that night, and I'm just like, okay, everything's good. The call comes out, and I was like, oh man, a vehicle versus a building. Damn, that's gonna be pretty bad. Yeah. And I wait a couple minutes. I'm like, okay, no one's injured. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna be nosy.
And you're like, I think I'm gonna roll in there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. Hey, I'm like, I've got nothing going on right now.
Dispatch anything on 70? No, looking kind of clear. All right, I'm gonna be in K-Town. I'm gonna go down here and check out this car in the building.
Do a little community policing,
I woke up that night. It was actually Thirsty Thursday at the ballpark. So we were at the game, enjoying ourselves, and then we went back home. And then I was like I was like kind of droggy, and I was like, my phone is ringing. I was like, the hell could it be? Like, no one. I was like, I don't know any of these numbers. I'm not answering. And then I got a call from Jesse next door, and I was like, what the hell is she calling? I was like, and then it was like, oh crap, that can't be good. The neighbor's calling, and in line with all these. And then the words were, I was like, hello. Hey, I'm just calling. The police department's been ringing my phone. There's a vehicle in the building, was what I was told. And I was like, great. Let them know I'm on my way.
In the building, how do you mean?
Far in the where at? They're like, I don't know. That's all I know.
Like on the property, or
it could have been like in the back lot.
Yeah,
like right through the front of the building.
Yeah, no. When I pulled up,
I rolled up as they were I've come down Heritage, and they had a wrecker parked diagonal blocking the intersection.
Yep.
And as I pulled up, you hear like the cars like backing out nice and slow, and you hear like all the things decompressing. And I was like rolling up with the windows down. I was like, no.
Okay, so that was your aspect of that. When they were doing that, when I initially pulled up, I was like, damn. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
And then as they're pulling out the car from the building, I'm again across the street watching. Again, I have nothing better to do at that point in time. I'm again like, damn, that's gotta hurt. I hate it. Don't know that guy, but it's something that he has the look of someone who has ownership of this piece of property. So I can empathize something that you put pride and joy in and care and time in, and something like that happening. I can empathize with somebody. So even though I'm like, yo, that sucks, I'm like, ugh, I do feel your pain on that one, but I mean, you're able to.
Yeah, it worked out. It was
luckily, yeah.
Our problem with it mostly was like we were like 3 weeks from moving in, and then it was like and pause, and like that wall we had to move back. The coolest thing about it all was there was a vending machine that was sitting right in front of it, and so when the car came through, it actually punched through the wall or like the opening there, so it was just like bricks up to like your knees. They come through the wall and he hit hits the vending machine that was on the inside.
Right.
The vending machine came across, hits this wall, and then slides all the way over there. And I was like, oh, man, like all my chocolate's mashed up. Like that sucker was fully stocked with like brand new candy. And I got to like crack the door open and like it comes apart. We got all our stuff out. We're like, oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
It was like one of the best economical things I think I've ever done, though. I was at the office one night, across the way, having a couple beers, and Sarah walked by, who owns it, and she was like, I'm trying to do something in that corner over there. You know anyone that needs a vending machine? And I was like, hiccup, I'll give you $100 for it. And she was like, deal. And I was like, bet. Like, came back actually, I woke up the next day and was like, I didn't even remember it. And then, like, we came through later, and I was like, oh, shoot, I'm pretty sure I bought a vending machine last night at the office for like $100. So I, like, text her. She's like, yeah. Just come get it whenever you want. So we got it like that, moved it in. The insurance adjuster let me tag it on for retail value.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
doubt.
bro, I just bought it. Look at it. It's damaged. He's like, get me. So he gave me like $800 for it. And then it was sitting damaged in the back, and I sold it the other day to a passerby
No doubt.
for $200.
Hey.
So I turned $100 into the G, baby, on the vending machine, and I didn't sell any candy out of it. I just ate it all. Like all the candy I bought. So it ended up working out.
Oh, no, that I totally I can get down with that.
Stupid stuff, but yeah, it's awesome how it works out that way.
You enjoyed it. It's you just go. It's not orchestrated that way. You just go with it.
Yeah.
You just roll with it. I mean, just go. I mean, it's an old saying, but just go with the flow. There's a book that I actually read that was called the Rise of Superman, and it explains the flow state. And you read that book and actually try to like apply it to your life, things get so much easier.
Yeah. But there's a lot of things like that.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
People, you try too hard. A lot of people try too hard to be something that they're not instead of just being themselves.
Yep.
And that's like with me, if you know me, you know me. There's no like, there's no question. Like if there is a question about something, like my opinion on a subject, there is no, well, I wonder if Andre, or I heard Andre. No. If you want it from the horse's mouth, I'll gladly give it to you.
Yep.
Not because I'm some like tough guy or I don't care or anything, but I would rather you have the correct information than continue to be ignorant from lack of knowledge. So
I think something like to even piggyback onto that is like the inflection of the way that you're saying things too.
Oh,
like
very much so.
The way that people down here will clip people up and put it out there is it's crazy to me to watch how I've watched several people, friends and not friends, get clipped up by people, and it's like, oh my gosh, like that was so out of context, or that was way to grab the 3 words instead of the 17 that were the actual statement. Like, why don't you give a little bit of in-depth situational awareness to the reader here?
I have a lot of people that take me as a very brash, and I mean I can be in some aspects, but I mean I take me as a very brash individual because for that same connotation, like I have a tendency to curse. I can help that. I just choose not to. It's a Marine thing. Yeah. But where the caveat to that is with people down here, a lot of people have already heard now, I use certain words to explain or to give emphasis to the way how I'm talking, because I'm a educated guy. I'm very articulate. I've gone all over the world where inflection of voice will get you killed. Right. Where, I mean, people take out of context what the hell is going on, especially in your situational area, your space around you. people will take out of context what's being said versus what's actually going on, and then they'll use that influx of their voice to completely screw up what they're trying to get out of their mouth. You know,
Yep.
I mean, it's people abuse the English language daily, and it hurts so bad, especially when and again, it's not people aren't stupid. I don't think anybody's really stupid. It's just you're ignorant, and people take that out of context too. When I say somebody's ignorant, people think, oh, I'm calling them an idiot or completely stupid. No, if you open a dictionary and look up the word ignorant or ignorance, it in layman's basic terms is a lack of knowledge. Point blank.
Yeah, it's not an attitude.
Yeah, it's just a lack of knowledge. So when I say, hey, sorry, I'm not, you're just ignorant, and it's like, oh, whoa, like people are wanting to fight and like stab me in the neck, and I'm like, I'm not trying to.
Yeah, I didn't say you're an idiot. I said you're ignorant. That's the different insult. Yeah, why has that got to be a different thing?
And I think I grew up north. I grew up in Maryland. But I guess now Maryland is considered a part of this. I don't
We got you
know.
guys in the Big Ten now, so we're chilling. You're
All
like
right.
Midwest now.
Cool,
You know what
cool.
I mean? We pulled you guys over.
I mean, I'll take that. There really isn't much. It's so small.
Definitely northern though.
No, I mean,
But you're coastal. Like it's kind of a weird thing.
And where I grew up in Columbia, Maryland, which was basically in between Baltimore and Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So, I mean, I was right along I-95, the big interstate to freaking take you all along the entire coast.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't understand, like, because I don't, and here's the thing, because, like, I don't have roots here. People don't understand, like, how old I generally am, or, like, what environmental or I guess, like, things that go on the worldly type things that I've actually been firsthand exposed to.
Right.
Like, based on my age, you don't know things, or based on my location. Like, when I grew up, when I was in middle school, I lived in between Baltimore and D.C. during the time of the D.C. sniper.
Interesting.
Like,
What's the little things that make you how you are, you know?
Yeah.
That no one really thinks about.
Yeah, like, people, like...
When was that? Do you remember? Was that like 2014?
No,
way before that. That was like more like when I was in high school. So we were in high school about the same time. Like you graduated like 2006?
I did graduate 2006.
All right, cool. 2006 as well, 34.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were kind of going through the same. We had a thing, this is way less than the DC sniper. We had a sniper in Columbus that was like on the south side of Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like the outer belt that goes all the, the circle freeway that goes around Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a dude on the south side that was posting up because it wasn't really, wouldn't say it was rural by any means, especially not to these standards, but it wasn't the most. They didn't have malls every 2 exits down there, and they were dude was like just wandering out on interpasses and just picking people off driving their cars. It's pretty wild.
This one is with the DC sniper. It was it was a teenager. It was a black teenager. He was Jamaican and an older guy. I remember one of the guys' names was John Lee Malvo. And they were basically picking people off while riding around in a vehicle and shooting at them through like the key lock through the back of the trunk of a car. So and I'll put it to you like this. As of last year, I'm a certified law enforcement sniper accredited sniper under the North Carolina Justice Academy standards. So I'm no like Chris Kyle from the movies or anything like that, but I'm a professional. I use the acronym PIG, or I didn't use the acronym. The military uses the acronym PIG, P-I-G, professionally instructed gunman. Okay. So that just means, you've been through the course. You've never actually, in that aspect, gone through it. So thinking back to times like that, like, holy crap, there were people that were effectively they were somewhat educated, not what I remember, not really in a military sense, but they were going around in some type of guerrilla or unconventional warfare style tactic on U.S. soil and everything, and it was crazy. But it's different. It's crazy how like things happen around the same time culturally in different aspects, but depending on where they're at, it affects either that area or the entire nation. Yep. You know? So like with me being in 6th, 7th grade when the DC sniper happened, I was in 9th grade when 9/11 happened. Yep. And that actually 9/11 is probably the main reason why I went into the military. I remember everything when it happened. I was in 9th grade, band, and we thought that there was like some war movie on TV or something like that, you know? And we're just like, what the hell, we're in band. Why do they have the TV on like that? And then, you know, we go from class to class, and then we're seeing like, oh, the school has this why is the whole school watching them? Like, hey guys, what's going on? Mm-hmm. And then when I get to my math class, that's when we get told like, hey, these people are dead. Like this is what's going on. And mind you, I'm in Maryland.
Yeah, you're not too far away. Yep.
Like the Pentagon got hit. Yep. Back then we treated it like an early out day. It was like
I think we had to stay the whole day. We were in Columbus though.
Yeah.
Had a lot of targets over there.
It was like, and it was crazy because like, you know, and I'm pretty sure like people from like North Carolina was like responding, sending their first responders up there to assist with that. It's like I can only imagine. I can think of it from a responder aspect now on how we'd help them, but if I actually lived there, I can pull a rabbit out of my hat any day of the week, any hour, minute, second of the day. But that is just the complexity to that is just astronomical to me, and I don't think I'll ever be at that level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy occurrence, man. I remember that day specifically. We were driving my mom was like taking us to school. We like had to drive up pretty far away to go to school and stuff, and like traffic was just like one of those days where like you go this way, it was like log jam. We went the other way, log jam. And I remember looking at my mom that morning, being like, "It's like the world's in a lockdown right now. We can't get anywhere." It was like 7:45 Eastern, so it was still way before any of that. We got into school. We were like going through school. We come into health class. Health class was like the soccer coach was like the teacher of health, you know? Mm-hmm. I was like, you didn't get gym, so you got health that day. And we walked in, and he was like, he's one of those guys that would always like say random things, or like he'd pull your leg. Or you're like, is he really serious or not? And we're like, he goes, yeah, man. He's like, there's a plane that hit the World Trade Center, man. And we're like, what, Mr. Grant? And he goes, yeah, man, it's crazy. And we were like, you know, still we didn't even know that he was that character in our lives at that time. We were so naive. we were like, we're like, is he serious? Because like he seems so nonchalant about a plane hitting a building. Yeah. I didn't even really know what the World Trade Centers really were at that point in time. I was like a kid. And then it's like, and then he like stopped the class and then brought in a TV, you know, like an old tube TV on a cart, and then they turned it on, and like that was when it started, and that was like after the second one, and everyone started realizing. But yeah, it was like one of those things, man. You just don't really know what. It's such a weird thing as a child to be like, to understand the gravity of something like that in the moment.
Well, I will say this actually. Now, just thinking about this, as a child, I did remember not going to the World Trade Center, but in passing seeing them. So growing up in Maryland, he's my stepdad in law, but he's my freaking dad. He's literally been the guy that's grown. I emulate all of his good qualities. I emulate from him. Yep. My bad ones, that's from a whole different beast.
Sure.
But you know, I lost just train of thought just a second though. Sorry. What was I talking about?
So you're talking about the kind of the gravity of that event, and then how basically your father figure in your life at that point in time. That was pretty much where we were.
Nope, lost it. All right, we'll just move on from there. He'll come back to me in a minute.
That's fine. Jerry will clip it. He'll make it look really good, and if you come back to it, just say it, and then we'll just chop it in there.
Oh no, I'm putting all that.
He'll slice it. I noticed, like, he's been hitting me like that too. The last couple episodes, I've been like, oh yeah, it's da 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 da, and I'm like, I think I just butchered it. It's cool. Jerry will cover it up so I don't look like a fool, and then like that plays through. So we'll keep it all in.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Leave it in. One take. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's the Delta 8, dude. The Delta 8 is serious.
Yes.
That's how we'll bring it all the way back around. You know what I mean? That'll bring us to our first sponsor of Kicking It With. Today we were sponsored by 3 companies. We are sponsored by Additive America, Big Bark Social, and today's special episode sponsored by Ironclad Axe Throwing.
Oh,
just got some new swag in. They got
nice.
these Comfort Colors long sleeve tees.
I have been there. I have been there for a baby shower.
Nice.
My son finessed one of my friend's fathers into $20 to pay for the games in the back, and my kid disappeared for like 4 hours, so it was beautiful.
He was kicking ass back there.
No, that place was great, and I mean, just the aggression and fun of throwing. I mean, who doesn't love that?
Yeah, if you haven't thrown an axe at a pile of wood on the wall, I mean, what the hell are you doing with yourself?
I mean, come on.
Trust me, with all the hate and all the rage that I've been receiving here by the folks of this town and this county, y'all need to go throw some axes and freaking cool your asses off because I'm tired of this shit. Again, that's this section right here. This first third is sponsored by Ironclad Axe Throwing. They've got really sweet Comfort Colors long sleeve tees. On the back, they say butchered it. They got a little design.
That's dope.
Hit them up. I don't know how expensive they are, but they're totally worth it. And not to mention, they're downtown Kinston people. So hook them up, help them stay in business, help the downtowns thrive. It's supporting. It's local supporting local.
The
really
epitome of local. Like, they are local.
Very local.
I never established what's my level of cursing that I'm allowed to go to.
Whatever you want. This is Kicking It With.
Oh,
yeah, this is shit. We're sponsored by my businesses and Ironclad, and they love to curse too. So shoot your shot.
Yo, fucked up on that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's
all right. Cool.
So we need to restart the whole thing.
No.
He's like, I said stuff way too many times already.
No. We
yeah, we're unhinged here.
We can just go ahead and just leave it from there.
Yes.
Keep on rolling.
It's about to get hot.
I love it.
So yeah, if you're out and about, funny that you said it. You've been down there for a baby shower, which that's what we wanted to spotlight today. Is we're coming up on that holiday season. It's time to get those little family events, maybe get those company Christmas parties scheduled, the little team building. You can get food catered in from any of the businesses here in downtown. They will gladly bring food. You get pizzas from Sugar Hill. You can get some food from Jay's. You can get food from Laughing Owl. Whiskey Pig may even hook you up. Harp and Dills got Berry Smoky opening very, very soon.
Yep.
Jerry's giving me a bad shake on that. He didn't like that joke. It's okay, Jerry. I'm a dad. I'm allowed to have shitty jokes. They're dad jokes.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that a superpower?
I thrive on those.
Yeah, we're dads, so we're allowed to say dumb shit, and you can't. I told you it'd be fun. Aren't you glad you ran into us on Saturday?
Absolutely.
I know. We got in the truck, and I was like, I think we were like 4 minutes down the road, and he goes, "You know that guy? How do you know that guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, just like literally in passing." He's like, "That'd be a perfect podcast guest." Like he's got plenty to say. And I was like, "Yeah." I think you're right. We'll hit him up right now.
That's a fucking understatement.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. So some other things, let's see, you're 34 just like I am, graduated high school 2006 from up there in the Maryland area between Baltimore and DC.
Yep.
How the heck does a person like you, like what are the things you said? You said you got into the military, so give us some of that stuff, but like how do you end up down here in Lenoir County after a little military career?
Okay.
I know it brings a lot of people to the area.
Okay.
However.
So, when so let me... Back to school, military. Okay, so we got to go back like 2002. I was, that's when, 2002, wait, no, shit, hold on. 2014, go back 2 years. Okay, so yeah, 2002, I ended up in JROTC. I was in Army JROTC at the high school that I was at. So I was in JROTC for all 4 years. Being in Army JROTC, I got real like hard up close aspects of like the Army, and I was like, cool, I want to go in the military. Like, this is pretty awesome. Where they fucked up was we went on a field trip to Little Creek, Virginia, which is a naval base, and they were just like, oh, you guys are gonna get to go around Marines, and I was like, cool. Like, I've seen Navy, I've seen the sailors, I've seen the Air Force. I've been around Army guys. I'm like, I'm destined pathway Army. Then we go to Little Creek. Holy shit. I was scared out of my damn mind. And the one who terrified me the most was, and I'm not trying to be, I'm not sexist or fucking anything. Like, trust me, I love women, so I'm not sexist. Wait, I don't think that's what sexist means. Anyway. Fuck it, whatever. I was like, because when it comes to customs and courtesies in the Army, you call anybody from once they achieve the rank of sergeant on up until everybody's called fucking sergeant. So I was trying to be like, haha, I know what I'm talking about. Like, good afternoon, sergeant. But she was a staff sergeant. And in the Marine Corps, if your rank is a staff sergeant, oh, you are addressed as that fucking rank. And when I called her a sergeant, she could have been literally wearing my skin as a suit for how far she jumped down my damn throat and expanded. Like, we're talking some crazy Hannibal Lecter type shit, man. Like, bitch took my soul, like, that day. And I'm like, if their women scare me that bad, I want to be one of their men, because clearly nobody's going to fuck with their men.
Yeah. Amen. That's the best way to know that, like, this is where I'm headed, right?
Yeah. So I was 16 years old, and I was like, fuck yeah, fuck this. I'm going to the Marines. They're like, nope, too young. And I'm like, shit. Really? I can't go in the Marines? No, well. So we got this program. Mind you, this was in 2004. I would have been 16. So in 2004, historically, we had, the war in Iraq going on, specifically, some of the bloodiest fucking battles in the Iraq War, which was Fallujah and Ramadi. And it was like, hey, we'll get you into the military. We'll get you whatever type of job you want. We'll make sure we'll lock that in for you when you turn 18. But you just got to sign up now and get your parents to sign you away when you're 16. And I was like, hell yes, do it. Mom, let's go. And I finessed my mom into doing that. And then I realized, history repeats itself historically. They did this like 40 years ago in Nam, and they did a draft. So when Fallujah was going on, well, unfortunately, people were dying bad. Like, it was bad. It was terrible. One of my neighbors, he is a Purple Heart recipient from one of the battle in Fallujah, and he is a calm giant in a war that broke some of the strongest men mentally, But so basically, with those guys departing, they were going to need to get people to join freely or draft. Well, my 16-year-old dumbass and a bunch of other people were like, hell yeah, let's do it. Bring us in.
Yeah.
We're like, and I didn't care. I was like, hell no. Like, I'll put it like this. I am the American-born child of immigrants that legally came to the U.S. and had a child here, and once their anchor baby was born, couldn't get deported. Gotcha, bitches.
Yeah, we're in.
But I mean, I joke about that. My mom doesn't like it when I make that joke, but I think it's funny as shit.
Yeah.
But no, when I went in the military, it was bad. But so I signed the delayed entry program, which got me in the foot in the door, and then I got me a job, which I kind of screwed up, got into some trouble, so that job got taken away. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I still want to go in the Marines. So I'll just go in, open contract, which was probably one of the stupidest things to do, but came out for my benefit in the end, for me to be who I am now.
So what is open contract?
Open contract is
ours. Like, you just sign here and we don't promise you shit. You're just coming along for the ride.
We promise you a paycheck every 2 weeks and a place somewhere for you to sleep at some point.
Maybe, if we let you.
Someplace, we'll give you food and water. Food and water. Didn't say what kind of food.
Right. Open contract.
And we're not going to guarantee you a job. We're not going to guarantee you any specific job. It's the needs of the Marine Corps at that point in time. And I was like, you know what? No, I I need to. I feel this is my calling. This is what I wanted to do. I felt my call to patriotism. I felt my call to be a patriot. You know, and it was because of the environment that I was in, the environment that I was exposed to up until that point led me to going that way. You know, so I went to boot camp in 2006 after I graduated. I actually graduated on like a Wednesday or Thursday. Was home for like 3 days, and that go Wednesday or Thursday, off, and then on the bus to go to Parris Island to boot camp. Wow. So yeah, I was just like, no, I'm out. Like, love y'all, mean it, I'm out. I mean,
So you're 18 at that point?
Yeah, I was 18.
Wow. I remember when I was at 18, I told my parents I was out too, but it was largely just because I brought a puppy home. My mom told me I couldn't stay at my house. And I was like, fine, Mom, fuck you, I'm out. And I took my $436 and I went and got an apartment for $418. And then I had $18 left over to get me to payday. And me and my little puppy had no food. But that's a far stretch from things you got to do. But yeah, at 18, I was like, I'm out too, Mom.
I ran away from home. I ran away from home one time. I ran away from home one time, and I was like, okay, so I grew up older in Columbia, but I grew up, like, when I was a child, I grew up in, if anybody knows these areas, like Silver Spring, Rockville, Prince George's County, Montgomery County, Maryland, which are pretty fucking rough.
Yeah, I've heard of Prince George's County.
Yeah. No,
I automatically knew that's been on the YouTube video before. I was like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, so I had a pretty, hard up. I was exposed to a lot of shit growing up. And with me being in I completely forgot where the hell I was going with that again. Damn it.
I'll have to quit cutting you off.
Yeah, that happens, but
sorry about
it's
that.
Whatever. So I went in open contract, and I didn't care what I did. Just let me do whatever. So they said, I looked at my paperwork at some point when I had access to it, and they're like, okay, you're going to be a command and control electrician. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll have a trade, and, I'll go in and fuck it, whatever. So I went in, and they were like, all right, I graduated Marine combat training, which is your secondary thing that you do after you graduate boot camp. And that was in Camp Johnson, here in North Carolina, next to Camp Lejeune. And from there, I got my orders to 29 Palms, and I was like, 29 Palms? Why am I going there? It's like, oh, because you're going to radio operator school. And I was like, wait a minute. Didn't my paperwork say I was supposed to be an electrician? A shit kind of electrician isn't a radio operator, It doesn't make any damn sense.
There's wires.
Yeah, I guess. I'm like, whatever. I mean, yes, sir, I'll go.
Send me.
Fuck it. I rolled on, and I lived in California for a while, and it was crazy. And when I got my orders at my school from my communication school, because after I was like, Hominis Dominus, you are a field radio operator, which, the little green army men, like the toys?
Yeah, like the movie, soldiers? Or
just like little toys, just in general. Like how you have that one toy that nobody ever wants to fucking play with, which is the guy with the radio.
Dude with like the pack and the little
the whole radio. Yeah, that was me.
Oh, but you were in the set though, bro. You were still in the set.
Yeah, that was me.
That's the best way to like draw like a real good parallel to anyone.
Yeah.
But you made the set.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys that didn't make the set.
Yeah, you're right. I guess like everybody's got their role. Like everybody has, like you got your badasses. Like, oh, that one's a sniper.
Yeah,
that one,
big gun. Or he's like all jacked like Pete, and you're like, oh yeah, that dude's like a badass.
And then you got the guy with the fucking radio, and you're like, who wants to be this guy?
At least you were the jacked guy with the radio.
Yeah,
usually the radio guy's like me.
Oh my god, dude!
We gave him the open contract.
Well, see, here's the thing. You would be the perfect one because they always say like the first time, like when you start getting shot at in combat, they're going to go for the guy with the radio because they're like, oh, that's their communication line. We take away their communication, they can't do shit. Yeah. So they're just like, where's the communication? The dumbass with the radio.
Yep, get him.
That's weighing down, not because he's just wearing the radio. He's got all the a battery for a freaking radio is like yay thick and like a square. It's like I'll think of a damn it now. Okay, if you take 2 of those white magic erasers and put them flat face by flat face, that's what a fucking battery for one of those radio pack batteries is.
All right.
And one of those radios takes
Like 40 pounds.
2 of them. Oh yeah, no, it's heavy as shit. So you have to, like, it'd be great to be used as long as your legs are strong. But like for me, I'm like, oh great, I've got this radio. It's a giant antenna saying, "Fucking shoot me here," and you know,
Yeah, launch grenades in this direction.
yeah. And they actually did statistics. They're like, okay, so when rounds start flying, your life expectancy as a radio operator, 45 seconds. Like
shit, shit. And it's.
You said what? You said 45 minutes? No, I said fucking seconds. So when you start hearing ping ping, if you can hear ping ping, that means they weren't aiming for you yet. Get the fuck out of Dodge.
We're just softening it up. They're softening everybody up so you'd start scrambling. Because you got like a flag on a 12-foot pole, you know. You're like a Baja truck on the beach.
Dude, it's terrible. It's terrible because you would have there are some, you would have, no joke, like 30-foot antennas coming off your back. And I mean, you got
the top of them is just pointing straight down at you, like just hit this guy right here.
Oh, and you got to think about it like this too. So the way how those radio signals, the way how radio signals and everything works, funny enough, I mean, like I said, I had to go, the military paid for me to go to school for this shit. So even though it literally equates to nothing in the regular person world, they spent, I think it was like, I don't know, $150,000 to $200,000 per head to send us to this school to learn how to operate that thing. Jeez. I mean, trust me. Like if it's a radio of my time, I can totally. You put it in front of me right now and me start pressing buttons on it, I'll like riding a damn bike, because it was like, you watch Full Metal Jacket, this is my rifle, this is my gun. Well, it's like, this is my rifle, this is my radio, and this is my fucking gun. Like, I literally had to always make sure I had that shit. And radio guys always got the shit in the stick.
Yeah, everyone's
hey, check this minefield. Send the fucking radio guy.
It's fine. We plan on losing in 45 seconds anyway.
He's not gonna. He ain't gonna make it any fucking way. Just send him.
It's just a minute. I mean, fuck it. Let him go first.
So
Terrible.
I got, I know it gets, trust me, it's the best part even happens after this. So I'm like, okay, yes, I am a master of communications at 18, because the Marine Corps said so. Cool.
It's a certificate.
Yeah. Hey, I even have a photo somewhere because I was my class commander. Oh my God! It was this straight up like G status style photo. Like I'm standing in the middle of the whole class, like, yo, fuck with it. And everybody else, we got people doing the crouching black guy pose. Like they got that chain hanging. I'm black. I can fucking say that. And, I don't give a shit. If anybody has a problem with it, I'm being Andre Barrett at 87@gmail.com. Hit me up, yo. That's I don't care.
I love it.
But it was like one of the, because we were like a family, like even though you're learning this like professional crazy job,
Yeah.
like you still have that unit cohesion that you build. So they were my family. So when I was like, okay, you're separating from your family, you're going to your new unit. That's going to be your new family. Mm-hmm. I was hearing military units, they're like 110 artillery. Damn. Rock on, bro. 1-8, or they're calling nothing but infantry units. I'm like, hell yeah. Like that getting picked like last on the team.
Oh yeah.
You're like,
I totally know.
Yeah, no, and like my last name's Barrett, B. I'm normally like, all right, so we're not going in alphabetical order. We're doing it different today. Okay, all right, cool. That's fine. It's fine. So then when they call for my unit, it's like, okay, military or artillery units, comm battalions. I'm like, they're not even sending me to a fucking comm battalion? That's where everybody goes.
What did I do?
Whoa, shit, this is it. And but it's like me and some other like guys who are like physically fit and then some other guys that aren't, but they're like very techno savvy, and then you have some other ones that are just like, I don't even know, they're just there. And they're like, you guys are going to Anglico. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Okay, out of all the acronyms they use, they were like, it's like some number like 110, 210. Like, that's how their numbers are. Like, okay, radio battalion, cool. Intel battalion, cool. Anglico, the fuck? That's like, come on, guys. Like, come on. Like, at the time, I tried to Google. Well, okay, so again, this is like
this was 2007. You didn't have a phone with internet on it. You flipped the phone up, and you're like texting somebody. You're like, what does this mean?
Look, I grew up with technology. My dad was a badass. He worked at Comcast cable company. I'm like in the early 90s. So one of the perks of working at Comcast then was you got free, like whatever was available at the time, like free high speed internet.
Yeah, they need you in.
Employees. Yeah, exactly. So my dad was still is to this day, God bless him. He's like a techno crackhead. It's like it's terrible. Like, you know, when like kids go home and like their parent is like, can you show me how to do this? Oh, no, my dad's like, the fuck kind of gear are you using, dude? Your shit's like 2 years ago. I'm like, Dad.
I work for the government, Dad.
Like, what the hell? I forget I have a phone half the time. I don't even get to look at the damn thing majority of the time, you know, like, what? You know? But no, so I mean, when I say like that, like, I grew up with the internet. You know, as the internet came out and boom, I was a kid when the internet freaking came out. Yeah, I mean, we were kids when the internet came out, but did you have access to it?
We were starting getting, my aunt and uncle were hip to it before anyone, and then it was like my dad's dad got hip to it pretty early on. So like we were doing like chat rooms and stuff when chat rooms were a thing. You know, you get like up to 30 people in a chat room.
Like
so we were doing that like really early, and I couldn't do it alone, but he would let me kind of do those things, and that was always fun. And then, but yeah, we had like 97. Yeah. Maybe 97, 98.
Yeah.
We were rocking and rolling with it. I remember when Windows 98 came out, we were upgrading from 95 and all that stuff. So yeah, we were vibing on Netscape. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
we had Hotmail accounts.
Oh yeah,
remember Netscape?
Netscape and Hotmail. So we rolled with Netscape, Hotmail. We had AOL, and
AOL was like baller. Like because there for a while we were just bringing home those 30-day CDs from Blockbuster and plugging them in. And it's like, why does your screen name have another one? No. I'm on another 30-day trial, dog. Like, why don't you just get AOL? Our parents have AOL. Well, your parents are rich as fuck. My parents are poor, right? I know I'm in the private school. It's because we eat McDonald's. Like, we're broke as shit. Like, ask me how many times I've eaten spaghetti since I've moved out of my parents' house.
Yo.
Not happening.
Yo.
Oh, you don't want a little pasta marinara? I'll throw some meat and make a little meat sauce. Shove it up your ass. I don't want it.
It's the reverse with me and my parents. I'm like, yo, I grew up poor as shit. And then I move out. My parents moved down to Georgia and get this baller ass house.
Well, yeah, they were like,
woo! I'm like, yo, like.
I got 9 years left. Mine's gone. I'm telling you, I'm going to be like a balling ass 43-year-old. 2 kids already out of high school, 43. Ready to rock. I'm going to be your parents at that point. I'm going to just retire to a beach house.
I've got a 1.5-year-old.
Oh, you got time. You'll be like, 52? I'll be 10 years into retirement by the time you...
No, and it wasn't going to be back.
Well, not retirement. You got retirement first. I'm still working every day.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to say. I'm oh, yeah. That's
kid retirement.
Yeah, that's...
So what does Angelica stand for? What was
Anglico. Isn't that the shit from like Rugrats?
Yeah. I was trying to keep it something we could all relate to, you know what I mean?
Well, I just fucked it up. Well, okay, so Angel, it's a playoff of Angel Company. Angel, like just, you know, Guardian Wings, but it's ANGLICO, Air Naval Gunfire Liaison Company. Anglico, we're a very colorful, and being an Anglico operator is a very colorful thing because you're not actually considered on paper the flashy special forces, but with Anglico, we might not have their title, but I'll be damned if we didn't have their money. And the amount of things that we had access to be to operate at a core, a 2 to 4 man team to support anybody, any foreign or allied military unit from any allied nation, just from what they need from our capabilities, which is either close air support, naval gunfire, artillery gunfire. And I mean, basically, if you've heard of a aircraft CCT, the combat controllers, they can only control shit coming in the air. We can control anything. If it goes boom and it goes out of and it gets deployed from something, we can control it. Nice. So that mission alone, and actually in the military period, an Anglico Marine, an Anglico operator, an Anglico JTAC, Joint Terminal Attack Controller, is the only type of individual that is capable of controlling all 3 types of munitions deployed in a theater of warfare. Okay. So, I mean, there's a huge thing. Basically, in a nutshell, there are 2 unspoken, or there's spoken, so in the, I guess now special operations community in the Marine Corps, you have your Marine Raiders, who have their highlight. They can have it. They can continue to have it. You have the 2 OGs, which were there before them, which was Force Reconnaissance. They were higher up on the tier. Everyone knows about Force Recon. Everybody's always heard or seen the glamour, and I mean, those guys are freaking badass. And we're there with Recon. We're all given that same respect. We're given that same, the people who need to know who we are, and the ones who do know who we are, even if you know me now, through the streets, people who've come and interacted with me, people who actually know me for me, being an Anglico Marine isn't just in the military. I'm that same way. Semper Gumby, always flexible. I believe in trying to be a jack of all trades and a master of every single last one of them. Because, that's the only way that you can progress in life. Don't be stagnant, always move forward. When I was in Anglico, I was injured in a operation in 2007 that it was bad. I mean, I got blown up by an IED explosion. I was just got done completing a mission. We were leaving, and the only thing I remember is just boom. I was transported out, and I took shrapnel to my face, arm, legs, tore through my kneecap, took to my leg. It's about a 18-inch scar that I have along my leg that I was actually told by doctors in the military that I was going to be, like, based on my injuries and everything like that, they're just like, I was already cast off. That I was told that I was going to be cane dependent for the rest of my life. And anybody that also knows me knows that I'm a stubborn asshole that doesn't, like, I get along with everybody. I love everybody, but don't also, within reason, don't tell me what to fucking do. Mm-hmm. Because with all respect, I'm in control of my life. Not you. I'll fit you in if I can. But just don't tell me what to fucking do, and everything will be good,
Mm-hmm. I'm with that. It's largely why I'm down here, man. Just like,
yeah.
I just can't be told what to do. I don't know. Someone told me that it was actually my father-in-law, man. I was working for him at the time, and we were doing the same type of stuff we do now. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, if we do this and this and this, we can change kind of the culture from a business that's been around into kind of something that's a little bit newer and a little more hip and a little bit more positive and a little less of authoritarian.
Yes.
And I think if we do this with our marketing, I think we can pop a little bit. And yeah, man, he sat there and kind of smiled at me and said, well, yeah, it's your opinion. And if you want to do all those things, then, you can either leave and start your own company or you can buy me out. I was like, well, how much? And he told me this number. And I was like, shit, I'm never going to make that much money working here. So I was like, I better go ahead and jump. And I was like, well, why would I, we could probably joke about this now, but I looked at him and I said, why would I buy this company from you when I can take myself and go buy that technology that's doing really well and start it myself for a tenth of that?
That's
and
right.
He was like, well, if you think you really think you can do that,
I absolutely do.
Be my guest. I quit working there about 3 months later.
Cool. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I totally get that. Love that. It's a military. It's a wrestler's personality, perspective of things in general, man. It's just like
the more
you aren't me.
Yeah, the more you try to push me down, the more resistance you give me, I will give you back in tenfold.
Yeah,
and I swear I try my best to be as peaceful as possible.
Sure,
but like it's one of those it's one of those things where it's like I am not a tough guy. Like a lot of people, it's actually funny. Like my reputation that I've heard, like I've heard it from different people all over this county, and you know, I'm just like, I get portrayed like this huge tough guy, and I'm like, nah, I'm not tough. I'm not tough. Trust me, I'm not tough at all. I'm just not afraid, because there was something I left out about when I got hurt. When I was transported to Baghdad, when I read my paperwork afterwards, I read that my heart had stopped and I became unresponsive for almost 2 minutes. You know, no function, no like brain activity. Like I died. Yeah. You know, I died, and then I came back. It was like, and all right, we tried, you know, we gave it a try, and this one's, you know, and within reasonable time, but then boom, I came the hell back, and they were like, holy shit. And I just remember waking up in another hospital in another country, and I was like, holy shit, what's going on?
Yeah, where am I at? What are we doing here?
Yeah, you know, like afterwards, like when I was able to, because I was conscious, until I went in surgery, like major surgery, I was conscious the entire time.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, you seeing, like...
I'd be, like, in and out because I'm, like, super lightheaded and stuff like that.
Oh, no. It's like, it's not even... It's... In a situation like that, I would say it's an adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
But it's more so... An adrenaline dump fizzles out at the bottom, but... When you're in that certain mental mind state of survival, I mean, you do everything to try and survive, because whenever I got blown up, you know, that was another thing. I backtrack a lot because recently I get told that I downplay every fucking thing that I say. And I backtrack a lot because a lot of the shit that I say is, I know how it sounds, and I know it's like, no, that's bullshit. No, that's bullshit. No, that's bullshit. But I've either got, if I say something, that's one thing about me, why everybody always sees me loves me because I'm like so credible, is if I say something and I've done it, I can either show you a video, photo, or some kind of documentation about it, because it's all about what you can fucking prove. I can say shit all day.
Yeah, anybody can. Yeah,
anybody can say bullshit.
Everybody's
all
got
day.
an Uncle Rico story, you know.
Yeah, you know, I can throw a football over the mountain.
Yeah, but
I just showed my kids that movie the other day.
It's classic.
I did, and they don't get it. My daughter
so slept on too. Like we were we were in high school when that came out.
Yes.
Maybe like kind of all of them almost out, and that came out, and no one talked anything about Napoleon Dynamite. And if you were like one of the people that like, I went and saw it and I thought it was good, people were like,
you're weird.
You're a loser.
Yeah, like, what the fuck's wrong
And now
with
you're like, nah, bitch, that shit was fire, and we were on it before you.
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
You're a loser. Yeah, you're also, what your fucking life going on, or wherever the hell you're still home.
Yeah. It's a shame that with all that time that you have at your mom's house that you never made it down to the basement to watch Napoleon Dynamite, because it's a really good flick.
Oh, my God. God, that damn movie.
Anywho, I digress.
Oh, I love that movie. But yeah, no, Uncle Rico. But yeah, no, and see, that's the thing, like, oh, yeah. And the reason why I do that specifically is, in my travels, I've been a detective at the sheriff's office here. And I think I was an average detective. I don't think I was the best. I was a good detective, a great patrol officer, and a extraordinary SWAT operator. And I'm not going to say who that's from, but that was a quote. I'm quoting somebody that that told me that, and I was like, well, damn. I wish you could have fucking told me this like 2 weeks ago. I'm like in my feels, you know. I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to keep doing this fucking job. And then, you know, I get hit with something like that, you know. But I was a decent detective, so I'm able to put a lot of things, I think, very analytical. And it's not about, like, people in general, I'm not limiting it to a specific area, but people all over the place tend to be pretty full of shit. And I mean, and that's not, and that's not, and I'm not this, I'm saying this just, this is my, cause I hold no credence, no fucking ill will on anybody. I'm seriously, and I've had people do me some fucked up shit, but you know, it's at the end of the day, that's, what the fuck does it matter? Mm-hmm. Yeah. At the end of the day, I can put my head down on a fucking pillow. I can, in my household, I know that at the end of the day, when I go lay down, I know that my wife is home, my baby's home, my 6-year-old son's home, my daughter's home, my 2 dogs, cat, and 28 chickens are also home. Because, yeah, I like chickens, because why not? Yeah. I like to, you know, it's like one of those things like, well, you know, and that's a big thing around here, too, that I've noticed. It's like, well, you know, I wish I could have done that. Or there's a lot of shoulda, woulda, could. There's a lot of Uncle Ricos, and there's a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas.
Yep.
And I'm hard pressed. I believe I don't have regrets. I was like, I probably should have done that differently, but no, I don't ever have a regret for a lack of not doing something, because, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, I came back. You're not promised tomorrow. Yep. And, you know, while you're here, I was given I believe, you know, say whatever people want to believe, but I was given a second chance. And mind you, I was retired. I was officially retired from the military. From, you know, I have a plaque on my wall that says, all who shall see these present greetings know thee that Lance Corporal Andre R. Barrett have served honorably and faithfully, was hereby not just, they don't say medically, because that doesn't fucking matter. Honorably retired from the United States Marine Corps. So it's real funny whenever I go on base and they scan my ID card and it comes up as retired with full benefits, and my rank pops up and it says E3 Lance Corporal. The last actual guy that I had, he was like, he went boop, and he was like, huh? I'm like, yeah, got him. And I just got him. Shit. Hey, man, this kid, it's a screwed up way how this happened, but this could be you.
Yeah, just keep working hard. Just keep working hard. One of these days, he might be like me. You know what I mean?
Stick with it, because actually, I could have, I chuckle at it, because originally, before I got my original job in the military, was supposed to be military police. And when I got in trouble, that got taken away very quickly. Like, I disappeared like it was never even on the table in the first place. So I was like, ugh.
Have you seen that the Channing Tatum movie? I don't watch movies, so let me just act like I'm my wife for a second. Have you seen that Channing Tatum movie where he's driving the dog back?
No,
and he goes to drop it off, but I don't remember what they are, but he had some funny joke. It's not him, but it's like some funny military joke about like getting to the gate and like acting like you don't have your ID, and then telling the MP like, thanks, we really appreciate your service. And then they like were flicking. You got to check it out. I'll find the movie.
Oh my God.
But there was something where it's like they were some like exclusive group, and every time they rode through the gate, they would act like they didn't have ID on purpose, just to make the MP like call it in, and then the person would call back down and be like, just let him through the gate, you jackass. And then they'd be like, hey, thank you for your service, and they would like flick the MPs off. It was like some, I have to figure out what it was. Yeah, it was like some hell? Yeah, it was like one of those like, I don't even know. I have to figure out what it is and figure out exactly what it is. I'll shoot it to you, but it was like some crazy stupid thing. It just made me laugh. I was like, why would you even? What is the point of that? It was like they were like such an exclusive group that they were like squeezing it out on the MPs every time they go to the gate.
No, I'm telling you right now. When I was like underage doing dumb shit in the military, I avoided the base like the plague.
Yeah. I was like, why are you doing it to them? I think it was like that was their big power flex of like, we're so big, we're gonna F the MPs. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, why? He must be badass.
I found the movie. It's called Dog.
Oh, it's literally called Dog?
Channing Tatum's Dog.
Jesus Christ, that's creative.
If nothing else, my wife suckered me into watching it because Channing Tatum probably had his shirt off in 83% of the scenes.
The only
which
dog,
is cool. We all need goals.
The only dog-related movie that I believe is an acceptable movie is because I'm convinced this guy was a Marine. Is John Wick. I'm telling you, I had some bad crap happen to some of my chickens recently, and I'm just like, I started playing it in my garage, and I'm like, you know what?
That motherfucker's killing my birds.
That motherfucker has a point. I understand, like, and it's like my chickens. Oh God, the chickens.
So 28.
Yeah, man.
How do you get up to 28? Like, what was like the
There were
initial
more.
number?
There
Oh
were
shit!
more.
So what was like when you were like, "Hey, babe, I think we should do chickens"?
No,
like,
that was not a conversation.
You just brought 'em
I just
home.
brought them home.
Oh, that's a way to do it. That's what she did to me with the cats.
My wife has done that with. I've done that with a cat, a dog. I used to find random dogs like
in Kinston running
Yeah,
around,
yeah,
crossing
no.
the paying attention to the cross signals.
So it's like random points. I'd be like, oh, it's freezing cold outside, and this dog, and I'm like,
Jump in.
And then it was like my kids were trying to finesse me. Like, Dad, can we keep it? Absolutely not. No. For the love of God, no. I don't need any more mouths to feed in this house.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like 10 or 12 years. My wife was like, "Hey, while you were at work today, there was this lady and she had these 8 or 10 kittens." I was like, "Was it 8 or was it 10?" It was like 8 or 10 kittens, and she just needed help like rehoming them. So I told her, just bring them over to me and I'll rehome them for you. So she's like, "I'm just going to find homes for them. They're not going to be here for very long. It'll be cool. The girls get to play with the kitten. We'll find them a home." And then 2 of those little bastards still live with me. It's been like 7 years.
I believe it.
So we're on the back half, but
So I got 28 chickens. So it was like a 2-part thing because like I told my wife for like our anniversary, I was like, "Hey, I've got a idea for a conjoined anniversary gift."
she's like, "Nah."
No. And I approached the idea to her, and I was like, "Hey, so you know how you've been wanting a garden, right? Well, I've done a couple videos on YouTube to see about this whole chicken thing, and I know we've got 1/3 of an acre."
Plenty of room.
I know we got 1/3 of an acre, but okay, why not? Yeah. And we'll do your garden, and I'll get some chickens, so we'll have some eggs. Some of them we can eat. Their shit can fertilize the garden, so I don't have to be keeping I carry enough shit as is, like to and from my house. I don't want to physically be carrying like shit. I'll use like a leaf blower or something like that. I'm lazy, I'm like first world problems,
Yeah.
I'll use a leaf blower and like fuck a rake. I don't even know why they sell them anymore.
Amen. I totally agree. I agree. Especially because you have the chickens. The chickens can do all the digging and scratching.
Yeah. And they do, and they till up the ground.
Level.
Oh yeah, no. I was like, oh,
That's
chickens.
perfect. You got to get a tilapia farm going so you can reuse the chicken shit into the tilapia pond. You got to like. You know what I mean? You gotta get that full ecosystem going. You gotta get the chicken shitting, it growing the algae in the water, the tilapia eating the algae, and then you kill the tilapia and feed yourself.
I've got something even better. So I randomly, when I got my Jeep at the dealership recently, which was on a fucking whim, I love the Jeep, but I do a lot of impulsive shit.
Yeah. It's got a turbo, dude. So
yeah, it's a turbocharged.
It goes,
I've never seen a turbocharged Jeep before, but boom, I got one. It's quick. I like it. It's a 4-cylinder. Gets good gas mileage. I'm just saying. Times
looks
are
the
tough.
part.
Times are tough. I saw it had like 25 miles to gallon the other way. I was like, oh, yeah.
You just dropping the 87 fuel in that?
You damn right.
Yeah. Dude, I'm running 90. I got like a tune on the truck running 93. Jesus Christ.
Nope. I was like, I hate that shit right now.
It's better than the truck, though. You're doing all right.
I'm telling you, that's a pretty color truck that you have.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I like the green, man. My wife is a big, like like a OD green. She
Yeah.
loves like the dark greens and
Yeah.
stuff. It's never really been my jam, but now she's starting to wear me into it a little bit. I saw there's like a little Bronco downtown, a little 4-door
yeah.
Bronco in the deep green.
I've been seeing those damn Broncos more and more, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
so okay, so this is like, it gives me, those Broncos give me a false sense of security. So it's like everybody knows the Jeep Wrangler, like the Wave.
Yeah.
So like, oh no, you drive a Jeep for like fucking 5 minutes, you've got the Wave down pat.
It's like on the test drive. You get it.
You've seen at least in that 5 minutes of driving, you've seen like 17 Jeeps.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, they just come out of fucking nowhere. Like, and we got another one goes and just roll through.
Yeah.
He'll get it in. I start seeing myself, like, I see Broncos, and in the profile, I'm like, oh, that's a Jeep.
Ah, yeah.
So I go up, and I was like, I've got like numerous like Jeep throw ups. Like right now, I've got the top off my Jeep right now, which I have it parked very openly adjacent over because I'm just like praying to God. If somebody steals my shit, I like, please don't. But
It's fine.
you know.
It's Kinston. It's one of the safest towns
Totally
in the
safe.
county. It's one of the safest. If you look at it, all the crime here is only violent crime because there's no reporting of anything else. So like speed limit violations, traffic lights, or minor crime, very low rate here because we don't even waste our time.
Oh yeah.
What's the point? Just wait until there's a victim
Yeah, I'm telling you.
of violent.
And you know it's crazy because on the statistic scale, like because of the way how everything's broken down. I forget which year was like the last year or the previous year. Everybody's like, man, Kinston's tough. And I'm like, really? I don't really see it that way. And they're like, oh yeah, we had X amount of people got shot. And I was like, well, I've got a very jaded sense of humor. I'm like, okay, they got shot, but did they die? Yeah. Did they die? Okay, they didn't die. All right, so calm down. However, people in this county, if you got to be, because you got like that closed-minded, not really closed-minded, you just have that scope, that city mentality. I mean, you live in the city, you only really tend to notice things in the city, which is understandable. It's not, I mean, you live.
Yeah, relativity.
Yeah, relativity, exactly. Yeah. So when you go out to the county, it expands, and it's a different, God fucking bless, I lost what I was saying again. What were you just saying?
The county and the city and the relativity of like how often people in the city like, oh man, Kinston's so dangerous. But it's not.
Got it. Right. Back to it. Sorry about that, the whole trooper shit. Unfortunately, you've had a lot of people comparatively in Lenoir County like that die in vehicle collisions. And
Yes.
we're talking like you'll have one here.
lot.
And it's terrible. Okay. I say this in jest, but I mean, in all reality, like it's fucking terrible. Like a loss of life, somebody being injured, like that is absolutely terrible. That's not why I became that's not why I became a Marine. That's not why I became a cop. Like I'm the real McCoy. Like I came because I believe that still to this day that I'm here to help people, and I always find a way to do that in my own way. Mm-hmm. And, whether it's in law enforcement, whether it's some actually stuff I'm doing now, I mean, it's great because what I'm doing makes me happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's all that's about. Like how many people can actually say what I'm doing right now, like when I wake up tomorrow and I go to whatever my chosen occupation is for that day, am I going to find completion within my life, within my spirit, emotionally, like, within my soul, or whatever you believe? Like, am I going to feel complete by the end of the day once, I get back home? And if that's not the case, to me personally, you need to change that. I mean, that's what I had a hard gut check with myself. And I mean, like I said, I was a state trooper here in North Carolina in this county. Like I said, I've been in law enforcement for the past decade. And I've been through literally the only thing when it comes to being a law enforcement officer in the state of North Carolina, the only thing that I have not done is be a canine officer and upper level administration. Other than that, in some way, shape, or form or capacity, I've filled that role that is required by a law enforcement officer. And I've done so, in my aspect, because a lot of people, everybody's opinion is always, skewed or different. I have some biased. for the capacity that I have been dealt my hand in life, I've always performed to the best of my capabilities. And I always, even though I'm not a cop right now, I'm still going to do that. That doesn't change me wanting to help people or just do good or live a good, fulfilled life. And me not being a cop, I can easily do that. I can do that in any profession. I can go work at a restaurant and do that. I can be unemployed doing that. I can go be a philanthropist and do that. I can completely clean out I was planning on doing it tomorrow. I'm retired from the military. When I was in law enforcement, I was getting a retirement pension that I put aggressively into that. Yeah, I'm going to be old and I'm going to use this when I'm retired. And I was like, no, dumbass, you retired 12 years ago. Right. You've been working for free, accruing another retirement for what? What I mean by it was medical retirement. I have full blown, I'm only going to tap on the table like this. I have full blown everything. I mean, everything, so that's why I work at this point. Me going to work is literally just to make myself happy, to make a means to make some type of income, because when it comes to, healthcare is the only thing I really gave two shits about. So if something's wrong with me or my family, we just go to the emergency room and the federal government is like, oh yeah, it's one of those guys. No, if I can take care of them, they're good. Yeah. And, I'm always appreciative of that because, I don't call that check-in often, but your boy died, Yeah.
Pretty much, man. Yeah, I'm all for it for folks like you. I mean,
yeah,
a freaking man on that stuff.
But yeah, I just right now I'm doing a lot of renovation stuff around the community. I mean, I've touched a lot of people, just speaking to them, just going around all the different the communities that I've touched, Pink Hill, Deep Run, Sandy Bottom, Moss Hill, LaGrange, Kinston, Falling Creek, Hugo, literally all the townships of this county, municipal or not. At some point in time, people, I can't have literally have been everywhere. And if I am missing somebody, I sincerely apologize. But I mean, I'm hard pressed where, people that know my kid, even if I'm not there, people see my kids and they're just like, hey, and they know, my kids are a spitting freaking image of me, literally.
And
it's
hard-nosed.
Oh, God,
I knocked one of them over on Saturday, just straight shoved him right in the ground.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, I was more worried. I was more worried about their equipment. My kids are destructive. They get hurt all the time. They've got free health care. So if they get hurt, they get hurt.
They're good to roll.
Yeah,
they know what's up.
If they mess something up, they get that pseudo luxury of a kid in a military kid would be affected. Damn, I got hurt and now mom and dad are in a bind. No, it's damn, I got hurt. We're taking I don't want to have to take you to the hospital. And I tell my kids no, I will take you to the hospital right now.
Let's get it checked out.
We will get this checked out. Don't be afraid. And I'll get my kids hey, listen, no, seriously, we will go.
Should we go right now? Yeah.
I love you both so much to the point where we will go. I will wait with you in the waiting room. I will not leave you. We will go.
Yeah. See, I'm the opposite still. I'm you're fine.
Yeah, no, but I tell them you're fine at some points because, in the middle of, if we're doing something, I'm I am not taking you to the hospital.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
I had to take mine because she was maybe 3, and she decided that she wanted to see if a bead would fit in her nose.
Oh, nice.
A plastic bead.
Oh, a bead. Okay.
Yeah, a bead, not an animal. No bzzz, just a bead. Jewelry.
Oh,
so anywho, I get this call. I'm at work, and I'm shut the hell up. I'm not coming home for that. She'll be she's a beater. Why don't you just plug the other nostril? Tell her to blow out.
Yeah.
She's you just don't understand. Click. I get a text. It's something probably along the line. This is 8 years ago. I get a text, and it had to be something along you're a piece of shit. And I was geez, kid's got a bead in her nose. She's gonna get it out. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Her parents come back. They're you need to leave.
Oh my God.
Shit. So I go, I get him. I get home and I was we're not going to the ER. We're going to figure this out. I get the vacuum out. I got tape and I got a straw. So I pull the damn tube out of the vacuum.
Yeah.
And I got a straw and I'm taping the straw, trying to create a funnel to go from like the 1 1/4 inch down to the straw.
Yeah.
I was like, if we can get this to be airtight, this is foolproof.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid's nose is like this big.
Oh
like,
yeah, no doubt.
Can't be that far up. I'm trying. She's freaking out and screaming. She's like 3 or 4, not happening. So we go, and it's like $1,000, $1,500, and they lay her back, and we gotta lay across the kid because she's freaking out, and they take like basically like a little scoop mechanism. And they're like, you're gonna have to hold her. And we're like, oh. So I remember like having something like this happen to me when I was 4, and I was terrified. Now I hate going to I've got like white coat syndrome.
Oh yeah, no,
like,
I have that.
I just pass out. Like, don't even take me in. They lean her back. We're leaning across her.
I have to go in unconscious.
Yeah, I only go to the hospital if I'm literally like about to die or I passed out and you like tricked me into the back of a car somehow, or like you hit me with some like stuff on my nose and like I'm out.
Oh yeah, no,
you could probably get me in there before I came to. But they like scoop a bead out and we're like, oh yay, and she goes, no, hold her. And they scooped another bead out. At this point, I was like, shit. This is
impressive.
I just got 2 for 1. I said, is that all in the same bill? Like, I'm a fucking asshole. My kid's like in terror. My wife's looking at me and she's crying because we're holding our kid down against her will. And she scoops the first bead out and I was like, cool, we got it.
Yeah.
And it was like, nope, there's more. And she scooped it out. And I literally, she didn't even get that son of a bitch out the second one. And I was like, and I see it come out and I said, shoot. Because I was telling them, I was like, this is going to be like $700. That's a $700 bead. I said, shit, I got 2 beads for $350 a piece.
Hell yeah, they came out. Hell yeah.
Yeah, 350 beads, not 700. I was super ecstatic.
That was one movement. I don't want to see any additional charges. I will check my bill.
Yeah. I was like, this is all on one visit, right? Like that's still charged. We thought there was one, there were 2, but it's still one trip. Yeah. I just remember telling my dad, then he's like, why aren't you glad you went? Because you would have sucked 1 bead out and been like, we're good. Go to sleep. Quit crying. You're being a baby. And then like 4 months later, we would have had a huge issue. So thank God I went. But yeah, I was not happy about it. I was like, I worked for 4 weeks just to freaking.
Oh my God. I can only imagine. I wish the damn dentist office was a lot more. Like I get what they got going on, but I wish that they were like more like they let you know what was going on like payment wise.
Yeah.
When it comes to stuff, because like, you go to the doctor, it's like, oh, here's your copay. Oh, here's this.
Before.
Yeah, before. The dentist office is like, oh, they'll do all the fucking work.
They're like, we got it. Don't worry.
We got it. We'll take it. You want more Novocaine, baby? Oh, it hurts. Give him more.
Squeeze?
Give him more. And I'm like, hey, yeah. So you go through and there's like, all right, this is what your insurance took out. I'm like, okay, cool, bet. And he's like, all right, this is what you owe us. I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, you want that shit right now?
I can't just go and send you. Do you guys take like a payment plan or like $12 a month?
Oh, okay. So what if I can't pay? Are you gonna like take them back out or?
How do you put a tooth back in my mouth? What do you just like pour the cavity back in the hole? You get the little cavity dust and you like mix it up with glue and pour it back in.
I'm sitting there and see, like the fear of that is like, I've got shit to buy. Like me and my family have shit to buy. If I've got a fucked up tooth, you know what? Ibuprofen, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's like, I know I can't. Hey, listen, Doc, I know I came in here because I can't really chew on the right side, but the left side was fine. But I'm not going to have shit to eat for 3 weeks because I just gave you $1,400 for this shit. What do you want me to do with my life? Just out here trying. Just out here trying to support my family, man. I don't even have insurance,
This is completely fucked up my whole lifestyle, Doc. Like, I need this shit, but damn, dude.
Yeah, how am I supposed to bet on the Cowboys on Sunday if you're fucking hitting me for 14 cheddars right now? Like, I don't have it.
Oh, my God. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, that's good.
It brings us to our second sponsor of today's episode.
Jesus?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not quite. He was like,
I was like,
you're sponsored by the Son of Man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're sponsored by all sorts. We have all sorts of sponsors, but this one is just a more earthly sponsor, Big Bark Social. If you need help with your social media content, you need videos, you want to host a podcast, but you don't want to buy all the equipment and do all the editing, you want to have new graphics, new branding, new website build, any of those fancy and fun things, Big Bark Social will help you out with that. You can check them out at bigbarksocial.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and all the other fancy, fun social medias.
We're just straight fire, yo.
Yeah.
I've seen the work. Shit's straight fire.
Yeah, it's pretty, we're trying out here. Trying to bring that little extra wave, little extra wrinkle to the local scene. Mm-hmm. We're trying to do so without pissing everybody off, but just pissing off just enough people.
I totally. Oh no, I have pissed a lot of people off. Actually, you know what? It was my job to piss people off. So no, I totally get that.
Yeah, I'm starting to figure that I've pissed off more people than I've not pissed off around here, but some people are starting to get over it. So that's largely great. I take no happiness out of anyone else's jar, by the way. If I'm really happy and I'm having fun and I make a video because I think it's really fun and I don't name you directly, shut the hell up and quit being so vain. It's probably not about you. I'm probably talking shit about your best friend instead. Grow up. God, I'm not taking any freaking happiness out of your pot. If you hate me so much, why don't you talk about something you like? It drives me crazy, dude. I had it all day today. I've just been fired up. I know we started on it, and then we started recording. I haven't said it, but if you think I'm out for you, you're a fool. Because unless you sell 3D printed plastic parts, you don't have anything that I actually really want. But the more you tell me not to do it and the more you tell me that you got this on lock, the more I'm going to come for you in my recreation time because I don't do anything for any of those side things unless I'm outside. I'm already clocked out of my main gig. So
that's how I became a freaking special operations qualified Marine, dude. Like I got to continuously getting told, you can't make it. Shit ain't going to happen. You can't do this. You can't.
Why would you even start a business doing that? Oh, we've got it on lock. Do you? Then why are you even mentioning me? Shut the hell up and just do you.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's funny. It's funny because mind you, I've been here for 10 years and like, I know, I guess being in law enforcement, I was in like this shielded freaking group where up until recently, I didn't know like, in law enforcement, you have your heroes. Sure. Like, I had a bunch of heroes growing up as a Lenoir County deputy because, you know, I'm not from here, you know, so I was just like, I hear what a lot of the local guys, you know, the guys who grew up here is like, yeah, you know, it's so-and-so, so-and-so, and I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds like that guy. See, that person sounds like a badass.
The way you say it, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if they are, and then I like sit there and go around, I'll see him in that like, oh, time to shine, badass spot. Either you can do it or not. Or it's like they either prove me completely right, like they're probably full of shit, or they haven't. And there are some where they're savants of their craft, especially for the considering the years of law enforcement they've been in. Mm-hmm. And I've seen some people, a particular gentleman before, where he had a reputation, and I heard about it, and I was like, yo, this dude's here's a legend. Like, yeah, this is about to happen. Like, I'm going to see the legend at work. And then it got downplayed a little bit. And I was like, whoa, well, I mean, he's still starring like everything that he lived up to. And then I was like, well, he's like really nice. Mm-hmm. I'm like, why? This isn't the same person I heard of. I'm like, but he's really like, oh, well, okay, well, you know, you get older or whatever. And, you know, it is what it is. But then something took his attention from that, caught him on a off guard on a safety concern, mm-hmm. and I saw that reputation come out quick with just his mouth, and I was like, oh, that's one of, like I said, so it's more one of those, you know, don't talk about it, be about it. Yeah, sure. That's the reason why. I mean, that's why I say that. It's like it's one of those. I can hear someone's reputation. I can hear and I can understand. Like I see what people are doing, but it's. I just like I was a business owner here in Kinston for a while. The Fusion Vapor LLC. It's at 1203 West Vernon Avenue, it's a Section B. It's across from the True Fit Gym in between the Liberty Tax and NC Nails. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Only 2 days because the only 2 days they're closed out the years because I set them. They're still the same, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Nice. But they've been around for the past 6 years mm-hmm. in the city. And, you know, with the – God fucking bless, I forgot what that whole ass plug just like maybe – with being here and being in a business – God damn it, nope, forgot it again.
It's fine. We got all night.
Okay.
I'll just sit here and quiet. It does like parlay me to a section that we like to close the show with every time. It's called shameless self-promotion. And even though it's not self-promotion per se.
No, I don't self-promote myself.
It is shameless promotion, so we'll feel free. Yeah, you can always.
There it is.
Yeah, you're always able to. Like, go ahead and switch over your shameless self-promotion to self-promotion for someone else. Usually, like, that's what I find too. Is like when you start to have like the negative effects of like you start forgetting something or you don't know where you're at. You just have to go back. You have to re-achieve the level of where you were with the delta.
Yep.
And then it's like it comes back to you.
Yeah, it does. It comes back in full circle. I used to forget shit all the fucking time. I mean, like, and a lot of people they don't understand it. It's a legal thing in North Carolina. You can go to a literal store like Diffusion Vapor, plug again. You can go to there. There's a couple other stores where they sell it. It's legally in a store. You have to go there. You purchase it, and you receive a receipt that shows you that you paid North Carolina state tax on. Mm-hmm. So for me, I was medically retired from the military for a lot of things that need a lot of medications. One of which is for pain. I've got bad pain in my ankle that got blown up, realistically. And, I've rolled it in patrol school twice, like overcoming like a bad roll, got healed 6 weeks later. Yay, I'm full motion again. And then I roll it again in the slowest formation run known to man. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah. But I'm like still like hobbling along. Like, I'm not gonna fucking quit. Like never freaking quit. Like always that's the thing. Like every time in my life, if I've ever had something like it's one thing. The first part is don't tell me that I can't do it. And not only am I going to show you that I can do it, I'm going to do it to my full capacity, and I'm not going to quit until I'm satisfied that that's done. Mm-hmm. Like that's just me. That's the way how I view things. I don't know, man. That's just the way the Marine Corps taught me that way. Mm-hmm. Just my worldly. I've been all over the world. That a lot of people can't comprehend, like I have some people like the farthest they've ever been is like, I've been to Tennessee. I'm like,
I went to Disney World once.
Yeah.
That's what I hear a lot around here.
Oh yeah.
I've been to Disney.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I've
a lot of life lessons there.
I'll put it to you like this. Do you I went to Disney in 2018 with two of my children were born, and Disney is great. I think everybody should go at least once. Yeah. But you go when your children are able to process what the fuck is going on, because majority when they're not, all you're doing is, come on, Billy.
Yeah, they don't give a shit. They're
Billy,
like, why
you're supposed to love this guy,
Yeah. You love Donald Duck. And I like him when he's this big.
You get it traumatized, and that's how you just like, you know what? I don't like they traumatize you with now, boom, traumatize you with Donald Duck. Future, you don't like orange juice anymore.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to go feed the ducks. I actually had like not a Donald Duck story, but like my aunt used to always take me to feed the ducks. Mm-hmm. There was like some ice cream place in Ohio. It's called Velvet Ice Cream if you're from there. Anyway, we'd go out to Utica to this place, and we'd feed the ducks, and it was great all the time. Except I was 4 at this one point, and I started to get my confidence up with feeding ducks. I'm kind of like a waterfowl whisperer at this point in my life.
My wife calls me a chicken whisperer.
And so I was feeding the ducks, and then like there weren't a lot of ducks that day, I remember, but there were some geese, and I was like, fuck it, I'll feed the geese too. And then I was feeding the geese, and I was like, these are beautiful geese, this is great. And then all of a sudden, the freaking mom goose comes out, and that bitch chased me like up the thing. I'm not very big now, so I wasn't very big when I was 4. This freaking goose bit me. And the way that I turned around to my aunt at the time, I turned around and I was like, Aunt Deb. She's like, why are you crying? You love feeding the birds or the ducks or whatever. And I said, that goose bit me on the pee-pee. And that goose chased me up the hill, and I turned around to see if it was still chasing me. And when I turned around, I remember turning around. It was like one of my earliest life memories. I remember like running up a hill from a pond and turning around thinking I outran the goose. And as I turned around, it was like wham, right in the dick. I was like, ah, Deb! And I don't think I fed geese for years after that.
Oh, that's fucking great.
From waterfowl whisperer to, no, I'm good.
Yo, I mean, I wish my kids would get traumatized with some of the ducks. Like they like birds. Period. They sense your like just aura, like
They're crazy
chaos. Like
yeah, my wife swears to it.
Like they're good with me. They're good with my wife. They're good with my 11-year-old. They're all right with my 6-year-old now. They don't fuck with my 1.5-year-old.
Oh, he's fearless.
Oh, fearless. He just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he just.
My wife's name's Tiffany. Tiffany gave probably the best description of like his persona. And she said that his persona is like that of a 35-year-old grown man that's been to prison 4 times. It just doesn't give a fuck anymore. Like, it doesn't even like literally, I'm like.
That is true. He's the one that knocked down on Saturday.
Yeah.
He was like,
No. And it's like.
He almost caught himself, to be honest. It was pretty impressive.
He's a hard kid.
Yeah,
man.
He hard stepped out to the sides and threw
threw
like 2 fingers down. And I was like, he's going to scoop this. And then he went down. But I was like, man, kid's probably a running back in the future.
He's like, we're talking about feeding the birds. Like, I have Cornish crossbirds, which are like really fat. God, they're like morbidly obese chickens right now that need to die. Like, I mean, like,
it's almost Thanksgiving. So.
Well, I mean, like they're so overweight now, and I proved a couple faux pas. Like, people told me like, hey, you don't need to let them get any bigger or let them live any longer than 8 weeks. And I was like, well, why? And they're like, well, their hearts give out, and I'm like,
doesn't that solve the problem?
I'm like, really? All they live is fucking like
they might make it to 12.
8 weeks and they fucking die. Well, I call bullshit on that. So
how old are they now?
Okay, I'll put it to you like this: if somebody can do the math on it, because I'm horrible at simple math. Unless it's anything over 10, I'm terrible at. Anyway, I got them. I used their effective born date as the date that I got them, and I got them August 22nd. So
it's about time.
Oh yeah, no, it's overtime.
Their hearts are about to get out.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like 8 weeks. 8 weeks. That's it. And I'm like, shit, these motherfuckers are like damn near 2.5 months now. Like, yo, what the fuck is 8 weeks?
Probably breed them. I mean, they have some good hereditary value.
See, I want to take like a couple of my
the folks down here, are pretty good at figuring those things out.
That's why. And I'm telling you, like, I've got 28 chickens now, and they are a third. I have a third of an acre of land. Literally, I have a third of an acre of land. But see, here's the thing: like, you have. What do you call them? Like when you buy eggs, like you have like, oh, here are your regular egg or from regular chickens. Mm-hmm. These are from free range hens. Mm-hmm. These are from pasture raised hens. Well, I have a new term for that. That's like even better. I have spoiled as shit hens.
Yes.
Like my
privileged hens.
Like privileged as fuck hens. Like privileged as well. Yeah, privileged AF. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that should be like, I want to see that on the on the brochure when I go to Tractor Supply next spring.
Oh my God, yes.
Like what are they best for?
Yeah, what are they best for?
These ones are best for being privileged.
Privileged, very. Like and I mean, and they know it too. Like, so chickens are supposed to like be completely blind. I mean, let me phrase that. They are blind at night.
Okay.
Like you cut a light off.
Do they not have like the zooming retinas that we have?
No, because they have their eyes on both sides of their head. They have a nearsighted eye and a farsighted eye. The nearsighted eye is their right eye. The farsighted eye, it's vice versa. Anyway, so when they're down, they turn their heads and they look at the ground. They have their nearsighted eye pointing at the ground so they can see what they want to eat. Mm-hmm. And then their far-sighted eyes pointing to the sky looking for predators. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, chickens are actually really, that's why I like them. They're like, when you stare at them, they're just funny as shit to watch, too.
Yeah, they're like well adapted. That's why they've survived so long without having like any defense mechanisms.
Yeah, no, I mean, like they
have like a claw.
It's funny because they do some stupid shit. No, like there are some that like the big ones that I got, they're just dumb. Like, dumb. If you put food in front of them, they will just lay their fat tails down and then just sit there and eat 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 and eat. And until they don't see food anymore.
Mm-hmm. Will they like eat themselves to death?
They can.
Chickens can?
That's why throughout the entire time I've had them, I moderate what they eat and how often they eat. That's why they got big fast, and I was like, shit, I need to slow their food down. And then I was able to hey, well, here goes a good result. They're still alive. And I'm like, shit, I'm at like week 12 or like at some point in time, these birds, when they're meat, when you harvest them, is going to go like, it's going to be inedible. Now, basically, the way how I realistically look at it, I have three major holidays coming up next. Christmas, the Marine Corps, 4 technically. Christmas, Marine Corps birthday, the Thanksgiving, and then my birthday. So I've got 4 hens left, so I'll probably keep 4. I'll keep 4 for those special days whenever I harvest them. And then the other ones I'll probably just give away because, I mean, why not, you know? There's people that, you know, there's especially around here in Kinston. There's
you got some good timing of the year to be doing
oh,
stuff
yeah,
like that
no.
too.
And I mean, it's not even just that. Like, I forget when it was. I know it's on Saturdays, and I forget the organization. But I know that they do, like, drive around or walk up, like, help with food. And they do it in the parking lot at Granger Stadium. And I rode by, and they're very receptive and nice people there. And, I mean, it's for people in need. There's still, you know, even after, you know, with natural disasters, COVID, and everything like that, you know, like people, even those are all, excuse me. So even those are all over per se. Kinston and Greenville are cities, but because of the resources, Kinston isn't able to bounce back as fast as places like Greenville are. And I mean, that's realistic. But at the same time, too, just because we're not as big as Greenville doesn't mean, you know, we're not as important. And it's not that we can't get that way because a lot of the infrastructure that's here in Kinston, I mean,
It's a ton of infrastructure.
I'll put it to you like this. When diffusion vapor first came around, what are the old stigmas? Old money, like old, old money, quote unquote, people who are old money or born into money that are from this area. And I mean, I get it. You know, your family's established, but don't ride off your family's fucking coattails. Like, if you're going to use that money,
Do something with it.
Do something with it to establish, hey, this is where the money came from. Everybody knows that, but this is what this person is doing with it, which is, are you going to be, to me, I have to say it bluntly, are you going to be a respectable, reasonable, ethical, and moral person, or are you going to be a piece of shit with it?
Yep. Now money makes you more of who you are.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now, like, I've been one of the top, I've been a trooper, which was one of the top paid law enforcement agencies in this state. Well, among the ones that you can get into that you don't need a degree to get into.
Gotcha.
And I quit that, and right now I'm back to being a retired Marine. Money doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's
what you want to do every day, man.
Exactly.
That's the keys to life. And like, I'm trying to like get to young people as soon as possible. Like,
yeah,
if you can get them to just like get that early on and not be into the flash of the cash.
Yeah.
By the time you're 30, it's not even gonna freaking matter. You're gonna be making so much money because it's not work. You don't ever work if you only do what you like.
Exactly.
And you'll make a ton of. If you really want money, just do shit you really like because eventually it's all gonna come to you anyway. Like it always does. It always freaking does.
As long as you keep a strong, positive mental attitude.
Yeah.
And don't let any outside sources affect or poison your mind, you'll be fine.
Yep.
You keep never quit.
Yep, that's it.
Never
that's the keys, man.
Freaking quit. You always persevere. You always push on. The only time you quit is when it's out of your hands, and you can quit when you die. I've done that and come back, so I don't ever really plan. I never quit.
Yeah.
I don't quit.
Yeah, just very quickly on that. The way that you kind of put that into your life and in your mind when you're young and you start coming up, you're like never quitting and always pushing through and yada, 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 yada. Those are those things that you've ingrained in yourself that you don't think about anymore, are the things that kick in when you don't have enough oxygen or blood flow to actively think for yourself.
Absolutely.
The brain is just going on what it's been trained to know at that
Stress
point.
inoculation.
Yep.
That has been the the existence of my life is stress inoculation. So I I had to get my vitals checked out recently, and I found out that like, and I'm not a medical person. I know like I can patch you up and I can bandage some shit up, and I'm like, okay, I'm sure I take that. I'm downplaying that again. I know how to do surgical sutures. I know how to do a surgical trach on somebody, nasopharyngeal airways, complete sucking chest with, I mean, the whole nine. Like battlefield triage, I can do. You're not gonna look fucking pretty, but you're not gonna die.
You'll be alive. Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm sorry.
You're good. He's dying out. We gotta wrap quickly.
Oh yeah, I got you.
He's about to lose his power.
Oh.
Cool. Well, we're rolling up on like a pretty good long episode here, and the beauty of the things is you're around town, so we can always have you back.
Yeah.
So super easy.
I mean, I've got, like I say, I've got a good. I try to always keep a positive outlook into life, and I mean, I've done a lot of things. I try to like help as much people as I can with whatever I can, and you know. You see me on the road, I drive, and it's not hard to spot me. I drive a fucking OD green Jeep.
Yep, pretty simple to find.
Yeah.
Old green.
Yeah, I mean, freaking that's what I'm like. I'm not afraid to say that I like it because, you know, I don't like to just, like, I know how to blend in with the crowd, but at the same time, too, I can, when the leader needs to be followed and when the right leader needs to be followed, I'm able to do that. But I'm also don't like following people, and I know I'm very capable of making instantaneous decisions. I mean, it always it needs to be. I mean, I've always through stress inoculation, through the military training that I went through, and everything like that. I'm always able to quickly make the best sound judgment, and I just go with the flow. Again, you go with the flow, and you just go with your gut feeling. Don't ever doubt your gut. And once you always trust your gut feeling, you'll always win. You'll always persevere.
Yep. Happiness, your gut knows what will make you happy. It like inherently knows. So as long as you're following your gut in general, it's going to lead you to where you need to go. So that's why you're here. It's what's led you all the way here. It's pretty cool, man. Like different paths and running into people that are the same age as me. It's pretty awesome. So
I've done
very cool.
I've had at least like 9 or 13 different lives till now. I've had.
Yeah, you're on your 8th or.
Something. I mean, like now doing the whole, like technically, like, yeah, I went from being a state trooper. I chose from being a state trooper and I quit. And now, like on paper, like what is your employment right now? Like on paper to the government, I'm unemployed. Sure. I'm retired. I'm a retired Marine again.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So, but I'm doing, like I said, remodeling and all that other stuff and anything that I can to help people out. Cause I mean, you know, people affected by COVID and everything, they still can't get out the house and they still need stuff done, whether they're unable to or anything like that. And, you know,
for sure.
Coastal Restoration Solutions is going to be there to help take them out.
Right on. Well, that is Kicking It With episode 7. This is Andre Barrett. I'm Zac Holcomb. You got Jerry back there on the switches. If you want this guy back, give us lots of likes, share it a bunch, and we'll bring him back. If not, screw off. You should just like everything.